All right, we're recording. So today I'm going to introduce a piece of software, and it's online and it's free, called Test Teach, T-E-S, Teach. And then I believe Gina's going to pick us up with Newsela. Am I saying that right? Okay. And we're going to kind of go through this step by step. I'm going to show you Test Teach, and I'm going to try to do one live. So see in my pants a little bit. And then I'm going to show you some stuff that I've built with it. Okay. So let me share my screen. And there. All right. Okay, so this is Test Teach right here. We're going, let me open it up a little bit so everybody can see it. We are going to look at Test Teach by BlendSpace. And I just Googled it. There it is, Test Teach. And this is what it is with BlendSpace. You go in here, and to sign up, it's just your Google login. It's a lot like Facebook. So when I log in, it's just with Google, and it launches from there. This site has been around for since 2016, I believe. And it was presented to us by a teacher who was in the CTE program side of things. And so when we did it, we saw a lot of really cool uses for our classes. So I wanted to share it with everybody and see what you thought. So once you get in, this is a dashboard. These are my lessons, or my recent lessons that I've put together, and one that I'm going to give a shot today. So I'm going to create a new lesson. And this one's going to be simple because I just want to do it real quick. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the water cycle. All right. And over here are all my resources for all of these things that I want to put in here. So they have the resources that they provide, plus all of the free resources that are online. Here is YouTube I can search, and here's Google I can search, and here's Google Images. Here's Flickr Common and a link, and I can save my own resources online. I can connect it to my Google Drive or my Dropbox or my computer. And then there's some common core standards, and we'll kind of look at each one of these real quickly. So I'm going to put in water cycle. And see, all this stuff is free. Our presenter said that she has never paid for anything in this before. So this is a good intro. We're going to look at that. And so this is a lesson plans for the water cycle workbook. We're going to stick that in there. And that'll be our first lesson. So that was a document.
Just drag that?
Just drag and drop. That's all it is. Here is some rain droplet stories. And let's see, I want the water cycle PowerPoint to start us off there. And the cool part is I can move this around anywhere I want. And then let's see if there's a YouTube video on the water cycle. There's a water cycle song, and we can preview the video too.
The water cycle takes.
So I can take that and I can drop it in there. And then I can Google search the water cycle just to see if there's anything, you know. Here's the U.S. Geological Survey site, which the gov isn't working. That's why you preview. So here's some fun facts. Let's see what we got here. There we go, some fun facts on the water cycle. And so there's a website link. We can drop that in there too. And then there's Brain Pop. Love Brain Pop, so we can always put Brain Pop in there. And then some pictures. Well, let's see. There's a great pictures of the water cycle. Put that in our lesson too. And then we can add rows and drop rows. We can add text. So I could put my essential questions in here. And then you can add a quiz at the end, multiple choice quiz. Okay, and you're done. The tagline for this piece of software is a lesson in 5 minutes, and I think I pretty well did that. So if you want to share or print, you can print anything that you want there, or share it. So I embed my lessons, so I can copy this link and take it over to my modules. So I'm going to use journalism today just as a reference. And I can make it a quiz, you know, that I worry sometimes about the information that we're giving away to these sites. And so if I want the quiz to stay on Canvas so that only I see what it is, I can add it to a quiz. And so there's my water cycle quiz. And edit that.
Was quiz one of your things on the far right?
Oh, yes, yes, it was.
Okay, okay.
I'll show it again in a minute if you need. And then my insert media button, so embed. Let me slow down, I'm sorry. Insert media button, embed, and then paste my code. I always make mine a little bigger because kids sometimes have a hard time seeing the little screen. So I always bump it up a little bit. Click OK. And it should load. Yes, it does. All right. And then I can change it. I can add my questions or whatever after that. I can add new questions like I normally do. So I'm going to save this real quick to see what it looks like. And hopefully everything worked. Oh, look. Something didn't work. That's not good. That's okay. I can show you something that works. Let's see. Go back to my modules. There we go. Oh, goodness. Come on. So this is one that I did on the ethics of photojournalism. It's a little more high school based. And this is what it looks like when I just normally do it in Canvas. And this is what it looks like when I put it in from Test Teach. So this is what it's actually supposed to be. So here's the website. And it loads. There we go. See? And then you go to the next lesson. And here's another website for the ethics of photojournalism. Then there's a movie and a PowerPoint that they can watch. And then here's the discussion quiz. So answer the discussion questions. And once you get done with that, you can create a post.
So how did you put those questions in Test Teach?
Sure. Right here, you can create a blank. And let me edit that. There we go. So just add text.
Oh, okay.
Come here. It's not being here today. Oh, that's nice. My mouse doesn't want to work today. Okay. So that was pretty simple. Let's try it again. We'll do this one a little more live. And you know, I practiced with the water cycle and I was hoping it would turn out a little better than that. But we'll go back to blend space real quick, and we're going to start a new lesson. So new lesson. This one's for Jessica out there. I think she's here somewhere. So we're going to do To Kill a Mockingbird. Oop, come on. I can't type either. There we go. So again, there's some stuff that you can pay for, but most of it is free. So here's chapters 1 through 5. I can drag and drop and put it there. Here is the play, and here's some readings. I like these movie clips because they let you watch different parts of the movie. And again, you can preview it.
Hey, Scout, you think you could tell us what happened?
No. All of a sudden, somebody grabbed me, knocked me down on the ground.
I forgot to stop. Okay. And then Google Sites. There, let's see, a Google search. So I can do summary of characters. And again, I can preview it. Pictures are available. Anything you want to drop in there. You can link it to a different website. I can upload a media file from my computer, and I uploaded a study guide earlier. There it is, and drop it there. So I can do all of this stuff really quickly. There we go. And
Oh, sorry.
that's okay.
So I've been watching your screen instead of the right-hand side. Do all of those little icons tell you what they are as you put your cursor on it?
Yeah, can you see that?
Okay, now yeah, I see it. I just wasn't looking there when you were doing it. Okay.
So this is the this is their resources.
Mm-hmm.
And again, lots of people don't have to pay for anything because everything's already uploaded. But if you want to spend $2.50, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the movies.
Right, I see.
Here's the Google search, and it'll connect to your Google Drive if you have something uploaded really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Probably the biggest thing I can see for this, for me, is like subplans, because I teach 5 different sections, and I'm trying to come up with lessons, and I'm sick, and it could take half a day for me to put together a lesson. And with this, in 5 minutes, I have an entire class load, already preloaded. And so it's a pretty cool tool. It still has its little perks and tweaks and stuff that are gonna, have to be ironed out, but I've only been working with it for 4 weeks. I will tell you that I was on a conference call with 400 teachers. Jerry can vouch for me. 400 teachers from everywhere from Alaska to Hawaii to Mexico, or New Mexico, and Puerto Rico. And this was the one tool that made everybody just go, wow, I can make a lesson in 5 minutes and I don't have to spend all day lesson planning things out. And this was what we brought back. Some of the other things that you can do with it, there are things like dilemma questions and knowledge hunts, and you can vlog your lessons. You can put your own YouTube videos in here. And like I said, we all have those days where, gosh, I really need a lesson right now. And I can do it. I can literally do that in 5 minutes and have it posted, put it out there, and put it all together for the kids. And it doesn't take any time at all. And it's not a really steep learning curve either, I don't think. Okay. I gotta look at
Ron,
the chat.
is this standards-based aligned stuff? I mean, is there, I guess, alignment to the core standards?
There's a common core standards. They've only got math loaded right now, I've noticed. But you can choose between math and ELA literacy. And you can choose your grade. So like freshman literacy, and search for that. And there are your common core standards for language, history, science, and technical skills. So yeah, you can even drop your standards in there and your essential questions as you go. All right. Anybody else?
Hey, Ron.
Yes, sir.
You might, if you don't mind, send out the link that has that webinar on there so they can watch the half-hour version of this, see how it went for her.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I know I put that in my email, so let me dig through that. I'll do that while Gina's presenting. Any other questions? No. My biggest thing with this is that, and it was really cool when I presented this to everybody else. Jerry was there with me, but I showed Matt Jones where it is, and his mother is a teacher, and he called home immediately and told her about it. So I thought that was neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is great. Thanks for showing this to us.
It is.
Ron.
I hope you kind of share it with everybody else, and I'll get that link out to you too. Alrighty, that's my 15 minutes. If you guys have any other questions, you can drop them in the chat. And I'm going to release my screen and let Gina take over. And thank you for listening.
That was great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, thank you. I'm excited.
So it's saying that the host has disabled attendee screen sharing.
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
let me see.
Hmm.
Video settings. Oh no, where did I do it?
How do we do that?
That's a good question. Hang on. Oh, I've got to go to more settings, I think. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Oh, it wants me to sign in. Here's my host settings. Oops. There. Screen sharing. All applicants. There we go. I found it. There you go, Gene.
How did you go into settings while you were in here?
I'm on the app, and then I went back to the meeting settings in the Zoom.
But in a separate screen?
Yeah, I'm in my web browser.
Okay, I was just wondering how you did both at the same time. That's all.
Okay.
It's still not letting me. Uh-oh. It still says host disabled.
Hmm.
What if it's just me? If anybody else clicks on share screen, does it?
Anybody want to give it a try?
I'll try it.
Sure.
Hold on.
Yeah, still host disabled.
Yeah, that's what it says for me too.
Okay. Advanced share settings. All participants. One more time. Okay, it says it's on.
There we go.
Hey, all right. Second time's a charm.
Okay. So can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So what I'm going to show you, I don't know how many of you are already familiar with Newsela. It's just News ELA. And when you go in, let me sign out here. The first time you go in, it's going to just prompt you to make an account. And so I'll just go out of it and go back in. And this is really, again, just a great way to assign things very quickly to the kids. While that's loading, just Alicia McMullen and I, for the 7th graders, for the 3 continuous learning opportunities, while we get ready to do a more involved we're going to review the same skills, obviously, but bring in the book that we normally would be teaching online. This was just a fantastic way to keep the kids learning and practicing. So this is what my page looks like in Canvas. I put a join link. Students create an account. You give them a class code that it gives you. And I just said, read the first article, then do the activities I created for you beside it. They can do quizzes. They can, I can put in my own questions. So I'll come back to that and show you what that looks like. So when you open it up, the first thing you see is a lot of articles, because that's what it is. Lots of news articles. And they're in all different topics. Science, math, language arts, everything. Cooking, sewing, social studies, history, everything. So you can go to all of those and just look around and look at different types of stories, different topics. And as articles come up, they're going to come up in a lot of different, oops, I clicked on something. They're going to come up in a lot of different reading levels. I mean, they're going to actually go to the highest, and then as the kids start to read, and it'll adjust to their reading level, or they can adjust it themselves. You have a binder at the top here, and I think it automatically logged me in. Yep. So you've got a binder up here once you create an account, and it's simple. It's free for the parts I'm going to show you. And once you create the account, say that you use your school email, say that you're a Mount Pleasant high school or middle school teacher, it'll find the school, it'll give you a class code. And then creating a class was simple. And instead of importing my students, I just simply gave them a code to get onto. And then Nikki Ensminger emailed me and said that Ben loved it. It was super easy. Her son is in my class. So once you get into your binder, you can create assignments. These are some of the ones I've created, and I can see how many kids viewed each one. It looks like Ghosts Roaming the Street in Wales was not as popular, and they're probably sick of hearing about coronavirus. But you can kind of see which ones they were most interested in. And to assign an article, you just simply go choose one. Sports. And let's see. And they're also high interest. For example, when I was teaching the kids how to identify main details or central idea with supporting details, the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash article was right there. And I had so much buy-in. The kids were totally into this article, totally into doing it. So once I've got it up there, notice up here, there's different Lexile levels that the kids can choose to read at. Notice the activities here off to the side. When you click on those, it'll bring up a quiz that they generate and create for you. It will also bring up something where they have to write. They give a prompt, or you can get in and change that prompt, which I do just about every time, and enhance it or update it. Right now I'm giving them questions to answer, like identify the central or main idea of the text, and then get in there and highlight what were the key details that showed you that. And as you notice here, as I highlight, I can immediately start annotating the text in different colors. I can say highlight the details that's the main detail for paragraph 1 or section 1, and or highlight the details that support this idea in one color, highlight the details that support this idea in another color. And when they submit, their annotations are all still there. And then let me go back to the binder here and go to, and if I want to assign it, I can just click assign. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. And I can assign it to any of my classes. And right now I've just created that one. And I can put the instructions here. And then I just click assign. And it will go into, when they log in, once they've created their class count, it's all right there. I'm going to cancel that and go to my binder. And the binder, yeah, I want to leave, sorry. Assignments, activity feed. I think I'll just simply go to the assignments. And this is where I spend most of my time. I can go to the activity feed, and I can see exactly what they did this week. So today, kids have already submitted. I can see, and because I don't have an account, in the middle school does not have one right now, or my data team leader, Alicia McMullen, said we don't have one at this point. I don't use the reading summary, which tells me which kids are doing what. You have to pay for an account for that. I'm not sure how much it is. So right now it just gives me, like numbers or letters for which kid it is. But for example, if I go down here and look at this one, it says 3 wrote a response. I immediately see which student that is. And I can see that Aiden Yoakum read this article, and he got 100% on the quiz. I can look at how he did. I can go back and go to my prompt Choose one part of this story, explain the causes and effects of your chosen topic, use details from the text. This is all he wrote. And so here's, and I don't know if you can see that well, but down here, these are my comments I sent him. And he's done quite a few, so I praised him for getting on there early on. But here I'm telling him we didn't quite make the grade. So yeah, then you can just, I can immediately see how many of my 7th graders are on today. Oh, I got to X out of that, I guess. I can immediately see what levels they read it at. I'm seeing a lot of them are getting on and viewing the articles, but not doing anything with them at times. So I can see viewed, here submitted a quiz. And a lot of times I'm seeing where they quit on me if I give a series of questions and the last one gets a little harder. So for example, annotate, supply details. And I'm getting a few that are really trying, but several who are not. So that's a little frustrating, but they're at least getting in there and doing something. So there's also other, let me see if I can find another one here. This one was neighbors create bear hunts for kids. And again, these are 7th graders that I'm using. There are other articles, a little more high school level. This was Owen Ginkinger. I was able to put a numbered list of questions here, and he didn't do so bad. So other things you can do. You can go up here to your content and you can save the articles that you want. You can create a text set, which I haven't done yet, but I noticed that when I click on text sets at your school, that several people have within social studies and science. And for example, I see that Taylor has, and Katie, I think Katie has a text set. And I think you're on right now, Katie. So I don't know if you want to jump in at any point. But a text set just simply shows a series of articles, or you've begun creating it. So yeah, you can search for different topics, different levels, different subjects. So that's kind of it. There's no fancy embed code or anything for Canvas. So it's not quite as fancy as what Ronnie showed you, but it's very helpful. And within my Canvas for this week, and last week, Alicia McMullen and I, the 7th grade teachers for LA, we just did the exact same thing and just did a week of April 13th, 3 articles with various questions for each of them. So we'll get a little more jazzy for next week. So that's, does anybody have any questions?
I do, of course.
Yeah.
To set up your classes, if you have multiple classes of the same thing, am I understanding you right that the setup is by them just joining with that code?
Yeah, you can create though as many as you want. You can get in there and create a class. Let me go back to my binder. You can get in there and create a class for each section if you want to. Like I have 2nd, 5th, and 6th hour 7th graders. So if I wanted to, I could have gone in there and created a separate one for each one, and each one gets a different code. And then you're looking at a different binder for each class.
Can you put in their DL list to connect to their Gmail so that like it can just be sent out as a group thing?
Yes, you can. It does allow you to do that.
It does or it does not?
It does. There is a class list option. If you would rather do it that way, you can.
Okay.
It does allow you to upload your list.
Okay.
And this is our free account, Gina?
This is our free one. This is what the free one looks like. And I really like it, and so does our team, because the articles are always pretty high interest for middle school. And there are others that will work for high school as well. You know, the reading level goes up pretty high, but the interest level is high.
I have one more question. If you don't set up classes, say I just find an article I want them to read and I just send them the code, then they can just read the article, right? And it doesn't have to be by any classes or anything like that.
We do that quite often, and we've posted when we're at this. That's mainly how we've used this in the past. When we're teaching, you know, text features and how to read nonfiction or read nonfiction texts. That's what we've done, is we've just simply put that in our Canvas, just like that.
Okay.
The kids just pull up the article, and then we're doing everything within the classroom.
Meredith, are you thinking about some articles in Spanish?
Well, since I'm Spanish 1, it would be more things about cultural things or places or something like that.
The kids can immediately move the article into Spanish, which one student did. See if I can see where that is here.
Yeah, I saw that it was in a list that said Spanish.
Here it is. And they submitted a quiz independently, which means they found another article while they were on there that I hadn't assigned, and so they were able to get in there once they were in and read the other articles and take whatever quizzes they wanted. Oh, this one was assigned, but the other ones were different. So they were able to change it to Spanish easily. See if the quiz was in Spanish. Yep, the quiz was even in Spanish. So everything. So that's handy.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Let's see. I did go ahead and drop that test teach link there in the chat. So if you want to copy that out real quick, it's over here on the right-hand side. Gina, do you have anything else for them?
I do not. I'm looking for where there it is, stop share.
Okay.
And it's not really all that fancy. So when he asked me and she said, Ben loved it, I'm like, well, it's not fancy, but.
Good. It's good. It's really good. Good stuff. Alrighty. Let's see. Is there anything else for today? Any questions or anything like that?
No.
Nope. All right.
Ron?
Yes, ma'am.
You said you dropped it over here. Is this the YouTube thing?
Yeah, that's our presenter. That's the presentation that she sent us.
Okay. So the link is where?
It's from me. It's in the 10:19 a.m. chat.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. When we end the meeting, the chat goes away. So if you need that link, it's gonna be. I'll leave it up.
I see it. Okay. Gotcha.
She does a much better job than me, of course.
No, that was great, both of you.
No, no. I am so excited about doing Test Teach because I'm about to do the Odyssey, what I can of it, with the honors kids, and that would be a great way to get them going into it. So
I hope it helps. Every little tool helps in our toolbox.
Time.
All right. I'm going to be the last one gone, so if you guys have any questions, I'll be here until the end. I'm going to stop the recording.
Take over. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Linda Wirt. Like Nancy said, I'm a career.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
We'll say bye to Brittany for now.
All right.